This old fan has been running strong for almost 20 years, but it's finally time for an upgrade. Lumary sent over their 52-inch low-profile Wi-Fi smart fan, and today we're going to unbox it, install it, and see how it stacks up against the old one. In case you want to skip ahead, here are the time steps for each step in the video. We'll start off with a quick unboxing to see what all we get. Now we start off with some hardware, then the instructions, some more hardware, then the light kit with diffuser, fan blades with different colors on each side, and you get 5 of those, the remote control and the control box, the bracket, the 5-inch downrod, the canopy, the upper and lower decorative pieces, the 10-inch downrod with the ball attached. We'll have to switch that over later. And then this is the star of the show, the ceiling fan body with motor. Before we can enjoy our new fan, we're going to have to remove the old one. This process will vary depending on what type of fan you have, but I do have a tip that may help you if you're doing this alone. But first and foremost, let's cut the power to the fan. Technically, you can do this by just flipping the switch on the wall, but since I don't do electrical often, I cut the power at the breaker. To do this, I make sure the fan is on, flip the breaker I think it is, then verify that the fan is off. This is how my old fan is secured with just a few screws. We'll loosen those and twist the old housing and it should come off. This is where the tip comes in for the lone DIYer. Have some bungee cords handy, because you'll need to pull the wires out of the box to remove the wire nuts, which is extremely difficult alone unless you have a way to suspend the fan while you work on the wires. With the fan nail secured, I like to use a non-contact voltage sensor to give me more peace of mind. Then take a few pictures of the current wiring setup. This will come in handy later as we're trying to figure out how it's wired and which wires we need for the new fan. Now we can easily disconnect all the wires. My fan had a black, white, and blue wire. The blue was connected to a red running to the second switch on the wall that provided power for the fan. The first switch on the wall was for the light. With it unwired, we can now remove the bungee cords and set this relic off to the side. Now we can remove the old bracket and install the new one, but before we do, I ran into a small issue. The new bracket holes were slightly off compared to where the mounting screws are located in my electrical box. I have this burr bit set that I've been using on door hardware installs, so I think I'll be able to shave off just enough to make it work. This is what it looks like before shaving, and this is the side I just shaved. You can tell that just a little bit has been removed. I'll do this to the other side, and it should be ready to install, I hope. Alright, this is the finished product. I'm very pleased with this modification. It almost looks factory. I think we're ready to get this bracket installed. With the bracket installed, now we can move on to the fan assembly. A tip here is to use the packaging to hold the fan in place during the assembly. We'll start with the fan blades. They're easy to install, basically 3 screws and washers for each blade. A decision you have to make here is if you want the black or the brown side facing down. I've chosen the black side, and with the fan motor oriented like this in the packaging, that means this is the side you'll be looking at. So we'll have the black side facing us. I did find it easier to go ahead and install the washers on the screws. This helps speed the process up a bit. Also chose to use a screwdriver instead of a drill or impact driver. I didn't want to strip anything out using power tools. With the blades installed, now we can move on to the light kit assembly. To remove the light diffuser, just press down and turn counterclockwise. The screws that will be used to secure the light kit are screwed into their holes. Back them out and reuse them after the light kit is in place. Now time to connect the wires. The connectors are different sizes, so it's easy to figure out which one goes where, but you will want to look at the pins so you orient the connector correctly. Once connected, try to situate the wires so they aren't blocking any of the lights. To install the diffuser, just line up the slots with the clips on the inside of the lamp base and turn clockwise to lock it in. The downrod ball has been pre-installed on the 10-inch downrod. For my room, I want to use the 5-inch downrod, so let's get this switched over. This is what each downrod currently looks like, and it shouldn't be too hard to switch over. First, we'll remove the screw holding the ground wire, which also attaches the ball to the rod. The other screw is kind of like a set screw, so once you loosen that, the ball will slide down the rod, freeing the horizontal bar. Take note of the orientation of the different pieces here, specifically the direction of the ball and how the ground wire sits in the rod, because we'll be assembling in the same direction to the 5-inch rod. We'll start by installing the horizontal bar. Hold that in place with your fingers while you slide the ball onto the rod from the bottom. This is what the underneath looks like. You want to be sure you're lining up the screw hole on the rod with the non-set screw on the ball. Once the bar slides into the grooves on the ball and your screw holes line up, tighten your set screw to keep everything tight and in place. Then install the screw with the ground wire and washer. And now our 5-inch downrod is ready to be assembled to the fan. To install, you're supposed to remove 2 set screws, which I'm just realizing wasn't installed on my fan. After you remove those, then remove the downrod pin. Before securing the downrod to the fan, we'll need to add the canopy and decorative pieces. This can be confusing, but this is the order in which they go, and you can take a screenshot after I get everything installed to help you get everything in the right order. We'll need to feed these wires up through the rod, so this clip has to be removed. I wish it was an easier clip to remove, as I was a little scared of using the snippers this close to all the wires, but it did get the job done. And now for the order. The canopy goes on first with the opening towards the ball. This hides the ball, the bracket, and the wiring, and also gives you a void for your controller box to sit into. Then, the smaller decorative piece goes on under that to hide the gap between the rod and the canopy, almost like a trim board on your flooring. Then, the other decorative piece goes on with the opening facing the fan, which hides the hardware attaching the downrod to the fan. Now, with everything in order, slide the wires through the rod. This is easier said than done, but stick with it. I have the luxury of jump cuts here, but it did take me a few tries. Also found that using a pair of needle nose pliers helped to snag that last wire. The downrod pin slides in like this, and then you attach the clip. As I mentioned earlier, my fan assembly didn't come with the set screws installed, but I did have 3 extra blade screws which had the same size threads. They were much longer than I presume the set screws would have been, but the decorative piece does cover it, so it will never be seen. The wiring for the new fan only has a white, black, and ground wire. The red wire in my box was for a second switch controlling my old fan's fan function. The new fan does that via the controller box and remote, so we'll just cap off this red wire and leave it in the box. This is the lock on the bracket, and we want to make sure that lines up with this slot on the downrod ball when we install it. The fan isn't too heavy, so one person can easily install it, but it does take some finesse getting it on the bracket and into the locked position. One thing I will mention, the instructions does not show exactly where the controller box is supposed to sit. I assumed it slid into the bracket and spent some time trying to make that work, but soon I realized it sits nicely in the canopy. Do not make that mistake. Wiring is simple, black to black, white to white, and ground to green. You do have a ground wire on the fan and on the bracket, so don't forget both of those. Once wired, then you plug in all the wires from the fan to the control box. The connectors are all different sizes, so it's easy to find which connector goes where. Like I said earlier, the control box slides right into the canopy. One tip here is to turn on the power and make sure everything works. You'll want to do that before screwing in the canopy. There are screws in the bracket that the canopy goes into, and then you can tighten it down. It's hard to get that step in the video when you're actually up there doing it. Another tip would be to hide the control box on the opposite side of the canopy that won't always be seen. I couldn't get the screws to engage perfectly, so there's a slight gap and you can barely see the control box peeking through. I'll be the only one that will ever notice that, and if it bothers me too much, I'll just unwire the control box and move it to the other side and play with the canopy screws a bit more. With the fan in place, now we'll install a remote holder. I think it looks best centered on the light switch plate, so right here is where I'll place it. It came with some pretty large screws and anchors, but I found a few smaller ones in my screw drawer that should work perfectly. I'm not using anchors just yet as I plan to paint soon. I'll secure it more permanently later. While doing this, one thing that I noticed is my light switch plate and probably the box behind it aren't perfectly parallel to the door trim. When I tried lining the remote up with the trim, it looked off, and then I lined it with the switch, and it looked off too, so I split the difference here. Alright, and there we have it. Now let's move on to the next step. One of my favorite features with this fan is the app. It's easy to find in the App Store, and it looks like this. Once you download it, it gives you instructions on how to link it up to your Wi-Fi, and it's a very easy process. The interface looks like this, and is very easy to use and self-explanatory. Let's open it up here and go through a few of the features. You have controls for both the light ring and the main light. You can change the color on both, but the light ring has many different options. I use the light ring on different colors as kind of a night light when I'm not in the room. The actual light is very bright, especially when compared to my old fan's output. I didn't think I'd use the app much, but it's actually become the main way I control the fan. If you're like me, you probably sleep with your phone charging right next to you, so it's always within reach. Need to turn the fan on, adjust the speed, or switch on the light? It's super easy, no need to hunt for the remote or get up and hit the wall switch. Another one of the features includes preset animations with the light ring, which are pretty neat. And then there's a section here where you can sync it up to music, which I'm not tried yet. And then the other section is for the fan controls. And I use that one quite a bit. I'd like to thank Lumary for sending this unit out. I've been using it for a couple weeks now and I'm very pleased with it. Check the description for a link to this exact fan, and I'll catch you on the next one.